In the previous chapter, Dongcheng continued his brutal beatdown on Nicholas. Every attempt Nicholas made to sway the match in his favor was shut down, time and time again. It got so bad for Nicholas that Lu was countering him by throwing rocks with his feet, all while schooling him on basic combat fundamentals. Due to Nicholas's arrogance, he was hindered from adapting to Lu's Chinese martial arts. Even while losing every exchange, he continued to mock Chinese martial arts, believing they were outdated and that his superior modern style would come out on top. When he couldn't figure out how to overcome Lu, he raged and became sloppy, leaving himself susceptible to a powerful Shan Kao, which resulted in his ribs being cracked. At this point, he realized it was too late to turn things around and opted to bail out of the fight, but Lu wasn't going to let that happen. Nicholas was so focused on escaping that he failed to consider his defense, which resulted in Lu landing a brutal earthquake foot onto Nicholas, shattering the bones in his foot despite him wearing steel-toe boots. As he lay there in pain, Lu demanded that he get up, as he was not yet finished with him. The chapter picks up after Lu stomps on Nicholas's foot, shattering the bones in it. As Nicholas reels in pain, Dongcheng looks down at him with a serious expression. Nicholas looks up and asks if he thinks he has won the fight, admitting that he's making him angry. Lu doesn't respond and simply stomps on one of Nicholas's hand. Nicholas screams out, now realizing he's completely finished. Observing his situation, he notes that his path to victory is gone and plans to take off his device and run. However, that plan is immediately shut down as Lu stomps on his arm, shattering the bones. Having predicted that Nicholas would try to remove his device and escape, Lu tells him he won't allow it. He then reminds him of his situation, pointing out that he can no longer take off his watch and can barely move. In his mind, Nicholas wonders if this is what Chinese martial arts is about, as Lu then tells him that he has done something unforgivable. As Lu walks away, he tells Nicholas to go back to France once the match is over and stand trial, but for now, he should stay and enjoy his suffering. Nicholas grits his teeth in anger and screams in frustration, demanding that Lu finish him off. However, Lu ignores him and continues walking away. The scene then shifts to Shin Wulong, who is looking out over the sea. Xia asks him why he has such a wistful expression. He mentions that there is no point in staying in that section, since no one will be there for a while. Xia continues, explaining that the final area will not open until 5 minutes before the third area closes. He adds that there is no point in staying near it, especially since there is no cover. However, Shin ignores him and says that everything is too easy. He then looks up at a drone and calls out to the Kengan Association, stating that he has a suggestion for them. The scene shifts again to Himuro arriving at the town where the Kengan Association members are staying. He is still in disbelief that they built an entire town in the middle of the forest. He reflects on the fact that he hasn't run into anyone, which he expected given how large the area is. Suddenly, someone calls out to him from behind, immediately putting Himuro on alert. He quickly turns around, taking a fighting stance as he faces the person. However, he immediately recognizes the person as Wakatsuki Takeshi. Caught off guard by Wakatsuki's sudden appearance, Himuro admits that he should have been checking. Confused, Wakatsuki asks what he means, and Himuro points to the location data on his device. He explains that he should have been checking it from time to time, even when he already had a good view of his surroundings. Hearing this, Wakatsuki admits that he thought it was just a normal watch, prompting Himuro to ask if he wasn't paying attention during the briefing. Himuro then asks Wakatsuki if he's alone, to which Wakatsuki confirms that he is. Reading the room, Wakatsuki asks Himuro if he wants to fight, to which Himuro accepts his challenge, and states he knows he's out of Wakatsuki's league, but he doesn't plan to lose on purpose. With that, this chapter of Kengan Omega concludes. I initially thought Lu would have killed Nicholas, given the type of person he is, but instead, he left him mangled and demanded that he turn himself over to the French authorities. I think the reason for this is that Lu has matured past that instinct, likely due to a lesson Takuno taught him during the Kengan vs Purgatory tournament when he wanted to kill Ryuki for murdering Naden. He managed to keep his composure, even though he was on the losing side at the beginning of the fight. Losing control of his emotions was once one of Lu's biggest weaknesses, but he seems to have completely overcome it. That said, I don't think leaving Nicholas alive will stop him entirely, since he has evaded the French authorities for years. Maybe the Kengan Association will assist in his arrest, or perhaps Lu will personally make sure he's captured. Either way, if I were in Lu's position, I would have delivered a final stomp to his neck and killed him outright, considering the immense number of lives Nicholas has taken during his time as a soldier. Since the death penalty has been abolished in France, the worst Nicholas would face if captured is life imprisonment. Given his strength, he likely wouldn't be threatened by other inmates and could possibly escape again. Like the Joker, Nicholas feels like the kind of villain who must be put down permanently to be stopped. I'm glad that Lu avenged his friend, and in brutal fashion too. Those stomps on Nicholas's arm and hand were especially gruesome. You can almost feel the pain through the manga panels, though it was fully deserved. After that, we see Shin Wulong again, now at the border of the final area. As expected, he's already grown bored with the tournament's current format and wants to suggest a new idea to the Kengan Association. What that idea is remains unclear, but it will likely force everyone to fend for themselves even more. Then after that, Himuro, for some reason, challenges Wakatsuki Takashi to a fight. At least he knows he's biting off more than he can chew with this challenge. I just hope he can at least hold his own, or at the very least, survive against Wakatsuki. My expectations are low, since Himuro is going up against a Wakatsuki who dominated the current Fong of Matsudo, Amori, in their sparring session. Himuro is going to need a miracle to keep things competitive. How long do you think this fight will last, and does Himuro stand even the slightest chance to pull a victory? That's all the yapping I'll do for today, but as always let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, goodbye.